Young sirs, it's been a long day. Porters, media everywhere. Let's take this time to say whatever it is we want while the doors are closed. You have the floor. This is about us.
Man, this shit ain't about us. This is all about Coach Carter.
We're the basketball team. All I see is you on TV, getting famous, eating that shit up.
Is that all you see?
That's all I see. You ain't lying.
Well, let me tell you what I see. I see a system that's designed for you to fail. Now, I know you all like stats, so let me give you some. Richmond High only graduates 50% of its students. And of those that do graduate, only 6% go to college. Which tells me when I walk down these halls and I look in your classrooms, maybe only one student is going to go to college. Well, damn, Coach Carter, if I ain't going to college, where am I going to go? Now, that's a great question. And the answer for young African-American men in here is this. Probably to prison. In this county, 33% of black males between 18 and 24 get arrested. So look at the guy on your left. Now look at the guy on your right. One of you is going to get arrested. Growing up here in Richmond, you're 80% more likely to go to prison than college. Those are the numbers. Those are some stats for your ass. Now I want you to go home and look at your lives tonight. Look at your parents' lives. And ask yourself, do I want better? If the answer is yes, I'll see you here tomorrow. And I promise you, I will do everything in my power to get you to college and to a better life.
Ladies and gents in Cyberland, coming back with another film review, and this time we're moving on to a sports film, one that I really enjoyed when I saw it in theaters, and still watch to this day. Coach Carter. So, me and the guys were hanging out, and we would always go to the theater in the middle of the week because it was the time when nobody was really there. And this was one of the films we just said, "Oh, let's go see this." And we watched it, and I was like, I was pointing out a lot of stuff because they filmed at my old high school, Poly, for out the quad area and then the library in certain parts. As far as filming for the rest of the film, I don't know where they went, but I know those scenes of the school was Poly, including the gym, which I never actually ever stepped foot in while I was at Poly. I never was inside that gym. Go figure. But anyway, the film follows Carter, who used to play at Richmond High School as a basketball player, and he's continued to live in the community as a son. Never mentioned what happened to his wife. She might have passed away or divorced, but the point is, he's raising his son as a single father. And Richmond has a lot of issues. The city has always had problems, and the school has a lot of huge problems. A lot of these kids come from broken homes. whether that's a single father or a single mother. Not a lot of them come from two-parent household, and they're just, they don't have the best. Maybe some of their parents mean well, but they just don't have the best tools, and they don't have the best things to set their foot forward in a positive way. And the school really doesn't do anything about it either. The school is just kind of like treats them kind of like cattle. We're just here to collect a check for you sitting in school, but that doesn't mean that it's important for you to learn anything. And the mindset of the community as well as the school is, sports are important and education don't mean shit. Like, this is the best that they're going to do is play sports, so let them play sports. And then after 18, once they're done with school, whether they graduate or they drop out, their life is going to either be drugs, crime, prison, and death. And Carter is like, that shit's not happening with me. So he comes in and already gives the players a contract that they have to abide by. They have to wear a suit and tie when they're in school or on game day. They can't be late to practice. They have to show up to every class. They have to perform in order to play. If they don't, then there's going to be a problem. And little by little, we see different characters. One who's got a baby on the way, and with he's character with Ashanti, and she was cool in here. She did her thing. And then you have Carter's son, who wants an education, but at the same time he wants to be trained and mentored by his dad at all times because he knows what his dad's capable of. So we have that. And then we have Worm, who's kind of like the ladies' man, but at the same time, he's just trying to find his way. And a couple other characters, and especially one character, I forget his name, but he's probably been through the most drama, the most struggles, that his behavior is warranted, is a product of that. To where he tries to take a swing at Coach Carter. He's very negative. He's very arrogant, and always very defensive about getting ready, always trying to fight. Like, he has a short man complex, even though he's not technically short. It's just he kind of has some of those thoughts. And you see him teetering to where he's going to play basketball and try to behave, and then at one point he's not playing basketball and he gets involved with, he's dealing drugs, but he doesn't get caught per se. So you see a lot of that in the film with all these kids. And the one thing I really liked about Coach Carter is these things are happening in a lot of schools, public schools, that it may not even be a sport. You got kids that only eat once a day or only eat at school. They don't eat once they're out of school. They don't have food at home. And you got situations where their homes are dysfunctional as hell, and they don't even play sports. They have nothing. And then, as we've said before, idle time is the devil's playground. So there's no activities for them to do. They don't have anything. So they get involved in some type of negative behavior because they don't have any positive imagery, or they try to emulate what they see on television because they don't have anybody in place to teach them any better. No male figurehead, especially for the boys. And the women, the girls is a totally another beast, but this is more so focused on males. My rating for the film, I give a 9 out of 10 yes sirs. I don't know if I could have given it a higher rating. I just felt it was a 9. It was really good. I don't know if there was anything else that could have made it a 10. Maybe they could have added in another 30 minutes for interactions between Carter and his son and the teammates. Maybe you could have done that, or maybe they could have. I don't know if it would have showed more games being played. I don't know. I don't know. But I felt it was a 9. I didn't feel it was perfect. It didn't feel like a 10 to me, but it was still good nonetheless. If you've never seen it, you should watch it because the film is not really about basketball. It's really about everything else that's more important than that. The basketball is to keep you entertained. That's the element for it as the moviegoer. But the message and what is trying to be preached and told to you as the audience is the education and really us as society needs to focus on, because unfortunately that's something I saw in high school, and that's something that people continue to spout about, is that nobody cares about building society up. Everybody just cares about the short term of just picking up a ball and entertaining people in the stands, and that's all that matters. And there's a lot more. Society is not run off sports. It generates money, but who builds the stands? Who builds those monitors? Who builds those televisions? Who builds the microphones? Who builds those footballs, those basketballs, the court? Who maintains all that stuff? See, that's the part that Coach Carter at the end of the day is really trying to express to some degree. Yeah, the sports is great, but in order to have those lights and to have all the entertaining part, you got to have somebody who's doing all this. And if you don't have anybody educated to do it, then everything falls apart really in hindsight. So with that being said, I will catch you guys on the next one. Take care.